All right, guys, so you made it to this objective where we're going to learn about the world reserve currencies. We're going to look at a timeline, look at the history, and let's dive in with a synopsis. So the dollar has had a 100-year run as the world's reserve currency, but a new asset class of contenders is emerging. The dollar ruled as the medium of international trade, so it was the anchor against which other nations value their currencies, and the reserve currency most central banks were holding as savings. Before the US, only 5 powers had enjoyed and coveted reserve currency status dating back to the mid-1400s. The US officials were thus confident that, in response to the COVID-19 lockdowns, they could print the dollars in limitless quantities without undermining its reserve currency status, allowing the country to keep running large deficits without apparent consequences. But a new asset class of contenders is emerging: cryptocurrencies. And remember, this is the writer from Morgan Stanley, the investment management's chief global strategist. He said, operating on a peer-to-peer networks, ungoverned by any state, so it's a neutral asset. I keep saying that, bridge neutral asset. So no central authority governs it. It's decentralized, it's peer-to-peer networks. So these automated, encrypted computer code system. So for key terms for this one, you want to know what cryptocurrencies are, which are a digital or virtual currency that is secured by cryptography. And then we want to know what decentralized is. Decentralized is a structure that allows cryptocurrencies to exist outside the control of governments and central authorities. And then a reserve currency is just a large quantity of currency maintained by central banks and other major financial institutions to prepare for investments and international debt obligations, or to influence their domestic exchange rate. So key takeaways from world reserve currencies. A reserve currency reduces exchange rate risk since there's no need for a country to exchange its currency for the reserve currency to trade. So reserve currency helps facilitate global transactions, including investments and international debt obligations. So a very large percentage of commodities are priced in the reserve currency, causing countries to hold this currency to pay for these goods. So like we talked about with the US dollar and oil, with the petrodollar. So since 2009, Bitcoin builders have aspired to establish it as the digital gold, a trusted store of value. The dollar's reign is likely to end when the rest of the world starts losing confidence that the US can keep paying its bills. And there's been multiple times during this past year, and I'll pull it up, that we're on the brink of almost not paying our debt back. We almost defaulted on our debt. So that's how dominant currencies fell in the past: a loss of the confidence of the world reserve currency through some sort of event, or through some kind of over economic policies or rules, or kind of too much spending. That's how dominant currencies, all in the history since back in the mid 1400s and probably even further, that's how they fell. And we're here at that moment with the timeline lining up.
If you're new to crypto, or if you've been in crypto for a while and you still don't feel like you have a strategy, then we have the perfect thing for you. Because it's one thing to have a strategy, but it's another thing to automate that strategy. So what we're doing right now is a waterfall flash sale. This is the start of week 1. We just launched our Stargate automated experience, which gives you access to utilize our custom automatic trading bots that we built for XRP, XLM, HBAR, Algorand, and a bunch of other altcoins. If you're sick and tired of watching the charts every single day, worrying, stressing, guessing about prices and if it's going to go up or down, then look no further than this, because this is the holy grail for any crypto holder or trader.
So the US dollar, in 1914, US dollars were printed. So other countries bought the United States debt, and they saw it as a safe store of money because these dollars were needed in transactions in oil, and it was backed by gold, and all these other currencies were tied to it. So naturally, they wanted to hold the US dollars and buy the US dollars or hold the country's debt because there was a high demand for it, and they saw it as a safe store of currency. Because remember, we learned about the petrodollar and that you needed US dollars to be able to export or buy oil. So other countries bought US Treasury securities, or the government's debt, as a safe store of money. And the demand was high, and it caused the US to introduce paper money because these countries wanted that debt because they saw America as a way of a leading, prospering new nation. And the US really dominated in the World War, and they own most of the gold. So concerns over the stability of the dollar led countries to convert their dollars into gold in like a rush panic, because they were unsure that they were going to be able to convert and get their money back by those US Treasury securities that they bought. So they rushed to try to cash it in, and then the US said, hold up, nope, we can't give you that. And they then delinked the dollar off of gold. So in 1944, it crowned the world's reserve currency. The US dollar was officially crowned. And President Richard Nixon delinked the dollar from gold, leading to floating exchange rates today. There was multiple times throughout the United States history where we went on and off of a gold standard, or some kind of gold standard, which you learned about in the gold standard video. So the US dollar was backed by the world's largest gold reserves, and the dollar was ranked as the 10th strongest currency. So before the US, only 5 powers coveted the reserve currency status, and that was Portugal, Spain, Netherlands, France, and Britain. And all of them lasted around 80 to 110 years. So I could pull up the world reserve currency kind of timeline and show you how this macroeconomic cycle and 100-year kind of time point cycle plays out with world reserve currencies. And it seems like we're at that turning point. All the stars are aligning from every angle that there could be a solution that we see coming that somehow just pops up out of nowhere.
Are you sick and tired of just stressing and guessing, holding and hoping, and watching the crypto market go through its ups and downs and not doing anything about it? If you're someone in that position, then look no further than the Stargate automated experience. We just launched it and we built custom automated trading bots for XRP, XLM, HBAR, and a bunch of other utility coins. If that sounds of interest to you and you want to learn more, click the video below and I'll see you over there.